It is your favorite nerdy girl here, Nerdy Girl Reviews, and we're back with another recap for Moon Knight, episode 6. I think I've mentioned it is a 6-part miniseries, so this is the season finale, and hopefully we'll have a second season, but you'll have to stay tuned if we hear more news. Anywho, if you'd like to see and hear my full commentary, keep me liked here on YouTube. If you're watching this on Instagram, click on the link in bio. If you're watching this on IG Stories, click on the link. It'll link you back to my YouTube channel. I'm also available on TikTok under Nerdygirlreviews. And if you like to catch my other recaps and reviews, you can find me on sofritoforyoursoul.com. Let's stay tuned, y'all. Y'all liking the new background light? It's cool, right? Alright, y'all. Stay tuned. And we're back. So yes, y'all, it took me a little sec to kind of like regroup. I had to watch a number of things, so sorry for the delay. But yes, I believe the season finale for Moon Knight was not this week, but the week prior. And then it just snowballed because I was watching a number of other things. Again, just letting you guys know, and to all you faithful viewers, we are listening to also to Frank Sinatra's My Way of Life, which plays at the end credits of this last episode, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So yeah, we pick up from the Field of Reeds, where of course, we were introduced to our darling hippo, Tauret, the goddess, and she's already helped balance Mark and Steven, so he can be in his final resting place in a nice sunnier pastures, if you can say. But there are instances where you can see that Mark is having difficulty accepting this passage in his life. His soul has gone and been led to, while Steven is in that abyss that seems like limbo, dusty limbo, purgatory. And though we all know that Steven isn't real, he's just a character or a personality that he was able to manifest into some form of reality to avoid the abuses that he had gone through. So that's why episode 5 is very significant, so that it makes sense. This season finale makes sense. Now, and we go back to where they were and where Mark's body is now laying in a pool of water, and he was struck by the bullet that Arthur Harrow, played by Ethan Hawke, had dispersed from his gun. And as they realize that he has transitioned and he has died, Arthur, it still justifies what he does with leaving that little scarab, that same gilded compass scarab, and kind of leaves it on top of his body, and wishes both Mark, and realizes that there's a split personality there of Steven. But there's something else looming, and he says whomever else is there, which is our clue to us spectators that there's the possibility of a third personality that, again, they've made hints about in prior episodes, but not a clear, distinctive name that we can identify yet. So they pick up, they're about to unleash their sole purpose, which is to unleash the goddess Ammit. Ammit was a goddess, and this is just some background information if you don't know about Egyptian mythology. Ammit was a problem. I'm sorry, she was a problem. Was a goddess in ancient Egyptian religion, with the 4 quarters of a lion, the hind quarters of a hippopotamus, and the head of a crocodile. Ammit is actually more of a creature than a god. She is known as the devourer of souls and participated in the important Egyptian ceremony, the weighing of the heart. Egyptians believe that after death, the scales of Mat, the goddess of truth and justice, judged every person's heart. So basically, unleashing her into the world was not going to bring anything positive. Although some people will justify horrible instances of violence as it being in favor of humanity and society and whatnot. So they carry on, and just as they're in the midst of transitioning, or no, I'm sorry, transporting themselves from where they were in that particular tomb to where all the goddesses are stored, they are stopped by police, and now, and every time that Arthur is able to attain something or attain souls, he has this like staff with this crocodile face figure, and it just like zaps all these souls into the underworld. So he doesn't feel the need. He's not threatened because he knows that he can obliterate basically anybody. What he wasn't counting on that Layla would be a part of this group. Not that she's for him, but she wants to just make sure that she can get her hands on him, to basically throw off his plan of bringing Amit into reality, to the world. So, although she initially wants to seek vengeance and kill him for killing her husband, Mark is speaking through her through like all these unfortunate dead bodies, and is letting her know, even through Tarouette, who's our goddess, our underworld goddess, is letting her know, please don't do that. Please don't do that. You know, he's trying to reach out to you. There's a better way. So she maintains her fury until they reach their destination. They get where they need to. Now the other avatars of the other gods and goddesses realize that Khonshu was right, and that Arthur had no good intention here, and his full intention was to bring back this evil goddess. So they do everything in their power to stop him, but can't. And she is to release Khonshu, so she does release him from whatever stone spell that he's under. She throws his statue that represents him to the floor. He comes back but realizes Mark is no longer. He's desperate because he really wants to put a stop to Amit. Tries to convince her, Layla, into being his new avatar, but she knows and realizes that he's definitely one of those personalities, friend or foe. So she's like, we have to find another way, but I am not going to entrust my body and soul to you because we all know you're a lie. You a lie. So he vanishes, and it confronts Amit because she does come to fruition. Arthur is successful in bringing her back. And we see again all the details that went into making this creature 3D. And again, I just want to make a point. I know that a lot of hardcore Marvel fans like weigh in differently. Those who are really hardcore fans are like, you know, they didn't think that the CGI was all that, and that it was a little lackluster. Look, fans like me who aren't necessarily devotees to the Marvel universe, I found it fascinating. And just the fact that they had certain details, the braiding, the texture of the hair, the beating in her hair when she came to life, the lights, I think they did a phenomenal job. And the reason why I say is because when Layla is met with, okay, what do I do? And now they've discovered that she's there because when Khonshu was released, they know somebody's there, and they try to kill her. What she ends up doing is allowing herself to be an avatar, but for Tarouette, our darling hippo, which she is so cute, and she's so girly, and she squeals. You honestly just want to hug her. But she's a little loud, and it's like, shh, girl. So when she decides to do this, she turns into her avatar with all the costuming and everything, and it's very Egyptian. These these gilded wings shoot out of her arms, like it's like adorned with a cape and these beautiful gilded, like I think it was shoes and like even pants. And then when she opens up her arms, like behind her, there's these gilded wings. That was gorgeous. And when I first saw that, I was like, oh, she's beautiful. So there's so many instances, and that's why I cannot say that perhaps maybe because I'm not one of those loyal devotees that I can watch it and appreciate it for what it is. And I loved it. I loved it. Moving forward, Khonshu is able to resurrect Mark and Stephen because Mark goes back into that purgatory, Sandy Purgatory, and is able to confess his true feelings and, appreciates Stephen for being there for the longest. And he just couldn't see himself continuing without Stephen. So he brings his heart. They have this touching moment where they're almost like becoming crystallized between both of them. And because of that warmth or that connection, they're both able to kind of like defrost in a way, but it's sand. And then there's a moment where they're able to kind of come back into the world, to the living world. So there's like beautiful lit, long doors. And then then there's this like wave of like sand or water, and it honestly gave me very Moses parting of the Red Seas kind of moment. So, but Tara swung by with the big old boat. She likes these two. She's like, go for it, boys. And it's so cute. She's so cute. So they are able to come back into the real world, to the living world, and Khonshu once again resurrects him. But they're like, before we do your dirty bidding, you need to promise that once we are done, you release us. So Khonshu, being desperate, is like, fine, let's do it. And then before we know it, they're not too close to where all of these statues and gods are, so they have to transport. And it's almost like this suit that has the Moon Knight suit. Almost, what can it do, basically? And he's able to kind of cuckold his like wings, and he turns into like a jet all of a sudden. That's so adorable. He gets there. They start, the whole fighting sequences. You can see that this was like very like meticulous. They took their time to do this. Give these people their flowers. They really did put a lot of effort to have shot as many episodes as they did during COVID. This was phenomenal work. And not for nothing, Ethan Hawke held his own. I mean, again, I haven't seen necessarily every piece of work that he's done, but I've always seen him as like the good guy. So to see him so villainous, it's like, wow. Again, what can people like surprise you with? So it was really cool. Now, when we get to the point where Khonshu is battling Emmett, but nearly failing, and so is Mark with Arthur, and it's almost to the point where also he is able to pin, even though Layla now is very strong and her suit of armor protects her, but he keeps also like he knows that it's 2 against 1, so he needs to put distractions and get her away from him, so he keeps constantly trying to injure other people. So again, this is what I'm saying, people who think that they're out for the religious good and for the community or society, but you're hurting people. So she's essentially, for me, she automatically kind of like becomes like Superwoman or like Wonder Woman or something. And she stops this van from like rolling over where there's like a group of family members who were trying to just get away from this. And those big gilded wings protects them, and you see this young lady, this young girl who notices her, and because of like how they can communicate, they're both speaking the same language, and she looks like her. She's like, are you like an Egyptian superhero? She was like, yeah. And that's reaffirming for people, and especially children of color who need that, who very much need to see that constant reinforcement that, hey, if I can see it, if I can visualize it, again, who's to say? I mean, you could be a superhero in your own way. So But nonetheless, I thought that was a really cute instance and that we need to see more of. So it seems like it's going nowhere though because Arthur seems to be winning. And he digs his staff right into the middle of that crescent moon on the suit for poor Mark. And even though, not for nothing, Steven has showed his chops this episode. It's like when he has like that other suit on, I forget, I think it's Mr. Perfect suit or something like that. He really can hold his own. But there are other moments where it gets too rough, and then Mark comes back with the big traditional suit and cape. But it seems like both of them are losing, and then he blacks out again. So if it's not Steven, and then when he comes to, Mark comes to, he realizes that a lot of damage was done. A lot of people are on the floor. If he hadn't stopped himself, he probably would have killed Arthur because he had that axe or staff or whatever up to his head. But he stabs himself because they still have to find a way to stop Emmett. But when he realizes that, and even like Layla is like, what was that? So obviously it's the introduction of another personality that when I guess neither Mark or Steven can handle the situation, he comes to the rescue. So they are able to take now Arthur, drag his behind to where all of the other gods are, or all the little statuettes are, and they chime or recite some kind of spell and are able to, because she has grown, like Ammit the goddess has grown like almost like Godzilla size, and so has Khonshu. But Khonshu is like has been knocked the hell out, so they have to get her back, or her essence back. And if they are able to get her into a body, then they can kill the body and essentially